After losing two very winnable games in a row, Joe Woods and the Browns defense is on the hot seat once again. They've given up over 200 rushing yards in each of the last 2 weeks and have looked lethargic, sloppy, and just plain bad. In this video, we'll dive into the tape to see what's causing the Browns' defensive issues, if Joe Woods is to blame, and if Deion Jones can fix their issues. The biggest problem plaguing the Browns' defense is their truly awful run defense. There's plenty of blame to go around, but their biggest issue is the interior defensive line. Taven Bryan, Jordan Elliott, and Tommy Togiai are some of the worst defenders in the entire NFL by pretty much any metric you can find, and they're all on the same team. Here's a play from the Chargers game that shows exactly that. When Eckler gets the handoff, look at how much open space he has to make a cut. At the point of attack, Jordan Elliott is getting moved off the ball, which opens up so much space for Eckler to work with. Because of how easily Elliott is pushed downfield, the offensive lineman has a much more favorable angle to move up to the second level and block JOK. From there, the Browns miss 3 tackles and Eckler gets the touchdown. When the defensive line is getting mauled 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, it makes life very hard on the linebackers because they are automatically at a disadvantage since their path to the running back is blocked. The running back has more favorable angles to work with, and the linebackers can't see through the play. That isn't to say that the Browns' poor run defense has been solely because of the defensive line. The Browns' young linebackers, namely Jacob Phillips, are struggling mightily since having been thrust into starting roles following Anthony Walker's season-ending injury back against the Steelers. On this play, the Falcons call a very creative run play that fools the Browns linebackers. When the ball is snapped, the entire offensive line and the fullback jump out to the right. Jacob Phillips and JOK both also jump out to the right in response, since they think this run is heading outside. But interestingly enough, the Falcons center winds back around to the left to be the lead blocker for the running back, who is actually designed to go to the left. Phillips and JOK aren't able to sift through the misdirection and play their way right into the Falcons' trap, which gives the running back nothing but green grass ahead of him. Here's another example from the Falcons game that shows you where Phillips is hurting the Browns' run defense. This time, Atlanta is running a standard outside zone to the right, with no eye candy or misdirection. The Browns' defensive tackles once again get moved effortlessly off the line of scrimmage, which does open a bunch of space for the running back. On zone running plays, the running back has 3 options to choose from. He can run through the designed gap, which is called the bang. He can bounce the run outside, or he can bend the run back to the outside if he sees an open cutback lane. As soon as the running back receives the handoff, it's pretty obvious that he's going to take the bounce option, since his hips and head are both angled in the same direction outside. Despite this, Phillips tries to shoot this gap to defend the bang option, instead of recognizing that the running back is going to take the bounce option, which would lead Phillips to go defend the outside lane. There's no way Phillips was ever going to get the running back in time by shooting the A gap, yet he still attempts to, which shows poor judgment. Because of this, he essentially takes himself out of the play, and the running back takes it all the way inside the red zone as a response. With how terrible the Browns' run defense has been, Joe Woods is the one who has received most of the criticism, with many people calling for him to be fired. But the Browns' issues defending the run are 100% talent-based. They have arguably the worst interior defensive line room in the NFL, and arguably the worst linebacker room in the NFL as well. There's only so much you can do as a coach. If you want to talk about the Browns' inconsistent pass defense, that's another discussion that needs its own video. But Joe Woods can't do anything about Jordan Elliott and Taven Bryan getting manhandled on every snap, giving the running back a lane that a semi-truck could go through. I mean, it's ridiculous. The Browns recently traded for linebacker Deion Jones to try to patch some of these issues. Just a couple of years ago, Jones was one of the best linebackers in the NFL. He has slowed down a bit with age, but the more I watch him on film, the more I realize that he still has a lot of talent. One thing that stands out about Jones is his calculated aggression in the run game. He flies to the ball and makes plays while also maintaining good discipline and gap integrity, which is an extremely valuable trait in today's NFL with all the play-action plays that offenses are running now. Here's what I mean. It's Week 15, 2021, and the Falcons are playing in Buffalo on a slick, snowy turf. The Bills are in the red zone, and they call zone read option on 1st and goal. Since Allen sees a corner lurking outside when he receives the snap, he decides to hand it off to his running back, who decides to cut the run outside. Jones initially flows in the direction of the offensive line, but as soon as he sees that running back make that cutback, he puts his foot in the ground, pursues the running back, and makes a difficult tackle. Jones is a fast thinker and is able to read plays very quickly, something Jacob Phillips hasn't been able to do to this point. Here's a great example of this. When the ball is snapped, you can see the entire 49ers offensive line and running back explode out of their stance to the right, and it looks like they're going to try to run this ball. But the 49ers are actually running a play-action bootleg. Every other Atlanta defender on the field falls for the fake, believing this play is a run, and they try to fill the gaps by moving downfield. But Jones doesn't. He sees Jimmy G keep the ball, reverses course, and holds Kittle to just a 2-yard gain. Jones is coming off a shoulder injury and, like I've mentioned, is showing signs of decline, but his value is way higher than the 6th-round pick that the Browns used to trade for him. He's still got excellent eye discipline, a natural instinct for sniffing out plays, and still has the juice to make those explosive plays. He's also a very good coverage linebacker, and has proved that he can hold his own when he's manned up against some of the best running backs in the NFL, like Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. I am still worried about the interior defensive line, which is still the main reason behind the Browns' atrocious run defense, but the linebackers have also been a big part of their woes on defense, which Jones can help with. Jones is a great linebacker, but I hope he won't be the last player the Browns add to their defense, because they need more help, and they need it soon.